Now, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built. Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I want to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews, because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract. So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning. The organization, we've already.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you what a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.
Here we go. It's combine time. It's official. It's officially the best time of year for New York Jets fans. At least, you know what I'm saying? It once was the best time of year for New York Jets fans. Like, we're talking about the offseason. It's the only time really over the last decade or so that we've really felt like we're winning at anything when it comes to, the sports world, especially when it comes to having to play on Sundays, which we don't tend to do very well. However, the offseason, the combine's happening right now. We got free agency about to open up, right? We got the draft coming up next month. Like, these are the things that we are accustomed to as a fan base that we get to enjoy, because these are the things that we usually see the good in what this team can be. So I spent the last couple of hangouts, man, just I guess just being a depressing little bitch. All right, listen, I've been very upset about the situation. I want this team to get good fast. I would like in my lifetime for the New York Jets to be a team that we as a fan base can be kind of proud of, right? And unfortunately, they haven't been that in quite some time. Again, we're going into year 16. But the fact of the matter is, ain't shit we can do about it but look at this team and try to figure out how it can get better. Maybe it can get better. Ultimately, all it's going to take is the opportunity for this team to actually bring in some football players into the building, and things can change, right? I know a lot of it has to do with coaching. I think we can all agree that if you don't got the coaching, things can go bad real fast. But I also think, if we're being honest with ourselves, you kind of need to have the players too. You need football players for this thing to happen. So we talked about free agency. We talked about some of the components. We talked about touching on the draft in regards to what needs to be done for this team to really be successful. But I think after watching AG's presser today, and of course having a veteran friend who's part of the New York Jets staff, shout out to you, my guy. I ain't gonna say too much, but always having that veteran connection kind of goes a long way. I think I know what AG's gonna do. I think the writing's on the wall. And I think we're going to talk about that tonight at the Hangar Hangout. First and foremost, Jimmy Jets, what's going on, brother? Nice to see you. Appreciate you for coming and hanging out tonight. I apologize for last week, man. I got a 15-year-old daughter now who's mobile. She just got a permit. That day went a little bit longer than I was anticipating, so didn't get a chance to really prepare for us to go ahead and hang out. And I didn't want to go ahead and just kind of throw it together for no reason. So appreciate y'all patience, y'all understanding, but we back. We're talking the combine this week in the Hangar Hangout. What's up, Wild Chew? Appreciate you, man. I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? Life is good. I'm blessed. Freaking USA won gold in hockey this week. So again, I'm not even a huge hockey fan, but they're if you've ever seen Miracle, which is one of the greatest, I think, sports movies of all time, when the team USA has the opportunity to go ahead and play for the gold against a team like Canada, let's be honest, That's probably the one thing Canada's really, really great at, right, is hockey. That's literally their sport. And for us to go ahead and snatch that from them, man, that was an awesome freaking Sunday. So congratulations to Team USA, both men and women, and also the freaking Olympians who went out there and did their thing as well. Talk about an awesome freaking game of hockey. That was a great game. Congrats to those guys. But tonight, welcome to the Hangout, guys. We're coming at you live right now. We're going to be talking about the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine. Things are starting to heat up a little bit. You've got the individuals already starting to talk about, meeting with the New York Jets. You got Aaron Glenn and Mougey talking about their thought processes for the offseason and what things are going to look like. I see more of you guys stepping in. I appreciate you. My guy, Nick, Sean, what's going on, brother? Gunny, watching brother message working, but I will be listening and make sure all your takes align with mine so I don't have to take my phone out of my pocket to disagree. I got you, Nick. I got you, man. I think for the most part, you and I will be on the same page in regards to the direction of our New York Jets. I got you, brother. Appreciate you for checking in, man, and hope you're having a good day at work, Doc. Let's go, USA, man. Listen, I know it's a turbulent time across the country right now, you know what I'm saying? And for me, when it comes to the Olympics, I don't think it has anything to do with politics, dog. It's all about us against the world, right? That's the whole point of it. It's us against the others. And I think as a nation, we just gotta go ahead and lock arms, man, and at least come together. And that should be one of the easiest things for us to come together as a nation and just kind of like be on the same page as. It's Team USA all the way, right? Like that's just the way it is. So to see Team USA come through and do their thing, man, that was what's up. That was great. That was awesome. While true, you can't fast forward a rebuild, especially with no QB. That's facts. That's facts. And this is me coming to you guys a little bit more reserved in regards to my approach to how I felt about our New York Jets this last like 2 months. I kind of sat back last week and I'm sitting there like, what? At the end of the day, the team was not as good as we thought they were. The roster wasn't as complete as we thought it was. And granted, the professionals made us believe that we had this top tier roster that was going to compete, for, a Super Bowl even with the Aaron Rodgers era. This wasn't the case. Wasn't the case. We got a reality check. And you're right, Walchu. You can't fast forward a rebuild, especially with no QB. This is going to take doing it the right way. It's going to take some perseverance, and it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. Mirror or unmirror? Hold on, let me take a look at this. I think it could be a very painful situation. Personally, I think what it boils down to, I knew it looked kind of weird. Appreciate you, brother. What it boils down to is that if AG is going to be the guy, right? And I don't think, what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm not saying that I believe, what I'm saying? Like he's going to be the dude. But I got to tell you, man, I guess we've got to go ahead and we got to root for the guy. You got to root for the guy. You can't be a fan of this team. He's clearly our coach. He didn't get fired and rooting for his failure. I think he might shit the bed. I really do. I think that he might shit the bed. I don't know if he's got it in him to be the coach of the New York Jets or an NFL head coach for that matter. However, as a New York Jets fan, I'm going to root for this guy to figure it out. And as such, I need to understand that this is a rebuild. We need to understand this is a rebuild. This team is missing pieces all over the roster. And this is why we're doing this. So we're looking at the freaking the combine here because ultimately the draft is how you want to do the rebuilds. The good teams do rebuilding right by looking at their draft capital and maximizing every pick to infuse your team with talent. And I think that we got to look at what AG and Mougey are about to do this offseason to infuse this team with talent to not be a contender next year. Because let's be honest, we're not going to be contenders next year, but perhaps to get on the right track for next year where you've got the boatload of cash, you've got the 3 first-round picks, you've got a stacked draft class with all kinds of quarterback potential, franchise quarterback potential talent. You can go in there knowing that you have a roster ready potentially for that guy to succeed. So we're gonna look at it like that, right? And so again, thank you, Nick, for calling me out on the camera. I don't know how it happened. That should be automatically off, but appreciate you, brother. Always looking out. I appreciate that. There it is. That background is too good to not be seen correctly. I appreciate you, fam. It's good now. It's clear. So let's go ahead and talk some. Let's talk some combine. Let's talk some freaking some draft, man. So it's it's heating up, man. You saw it all day. They're in Indianapolis. They're doing their thing, and I get it, man. That 3-14 season was ugly. Like there's no going around that. It was ugly. We of course had to add to the record books in ways that we're never going to get out of it. There's never going to be another team in our lifetime anyway that doesn't catch an interception in the entire freaking regular season. It's never going to happen. So for us as Jets fans, it's another one of those records we wish we didn't have, and yet we've got it. We've also got the longest playoff drought of all time. You know what I'm saying? Not of all time, in all of professional sports. Another record that's embarrassing that we currently have to hold. But let's put it behind us. Let's put it behind us. The rebuild is no longer a theory. It's not. Like, this is now our reality. It's happening. It's happening. Hell, it's happening right now. We have the number 2 overall pick. The number 16 overall pick, thanks to the Sauce Gardner trade, and of course some front office maneuvering by Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn. And although both of those guys are under the microscope, they have allowed us to get to this point now to where you can kind of fast track this rebuild. And I'm not saying like fast track, like again, we're not talking about being competitive next year, but fast track by infusing some legitimate talent onto this roster. So tonight, we're going to dive deep into the names everyone is already whispering about. We're talking about that 4-way battle at number 2. A second first rounder that could secure a dynamic weapon or maybe a defensive chess piece, and some real sleepers for our second round slots. Like the QB market also is kind of heating up a little bit, right? A lot of energy. You're seeing some things pop up in terms of trade candidates now. Names are firing up in terms of individuals that could potentially be on the move. So that could impact a win or two if you're able to go ahead and get yourself a legitimate veteran journeyman quarterback who could potentially be the backup to that stud for you next year. Or do the New York Jets like a quarterback in this draft class that they're willing to take a chance on based off of Frank Reich's preferences, man? So a lot to talk about. Make sure I'm saying what's up to everybody. What's up, Big Will? I see you in the building, man. Appreciate you, man, for chopping on. With so many years of misery, it is hard to take this rebuild, but it is what we needed. No, it is, man. And I think that's the toughest part is for us. It's another year that we got to go ahead and add to the be patient, right? Like be patient freaking chapter of our fandom. It's been so bad for so long that it feels like it's just been one endless cycle of rebuilding. So every time we mention rebuild, it's almost laughable to us as a fan base because we've been in this state, it seems like, consistently, while other teams can get into it, get out of it, and are back in the freaking Super Bowl, i.e. the New England Patriots. We just stick with this is it. This is our story. This is our chapter. So I feel you, Big Will. But like you said, we need this. It needs to be done because the team is lacking talent. And even if we were to get the quarterback right now, let's just say next year's quarterback draft class was this year's quarterback draft class, we're not ready for a quarterback. We're just not. Like we would break that dude too to wind up watching him walk away after his first contract and go help the Raiders or whoever win a Super Bowl down the road. The Sam Darnold thing is enough for us. So again, doing it the right way, I think, is going to be key for us being successful. Vero Beach, what's going on, brother? Nice to see you in the chat as well. Sean, what's going on, man? What's up, Gunny? Hope you're having a good night. What's up, Jets chat? What up, Nick? Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain. Living a dream, as they say. Things are good. My family's happy. The wife is happy. The kids are happy. Everyone's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel blessed. You know, the U.S. just won gold in hockey ×2, our ladies and our men. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling good, man. As a United States Marine veteran, I couldn't ask for more right now. I'm feeling pretty good, man. Appreciate you for jumping in to hang out tonight. Wild True says he loved Mougey's press conference. He does sound like a man with a plan, almost like a nerd. He does sound like a freaking huge nerd, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The press conference did kind of, you know what I'm saying, like tilt my optimism in terms of this podcast and, of course, moving forward, just based off of the vibes that I was getting from those guys. Again, maybe that's just a homer in me as a Jets fan, but, yeah, I was definitely a fan of how that presser went down. What's going on, Dano? I see you in the building, brother. I appreciate you, man. Nice to have you. And like you said, man, hit that like button. We're still trying to get to 2K subscribers. Once we get to 2,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing a giveaway of an autographed Joe Namath jersey. It's going to be an authentic jersey, of course, and I'm going to also make sure I include a frame for it so you can frame it up wherever it is you want, whether it's in your man cave, your living room, in your bedrooms, however you want to do it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking to give that. I want to give that away. So we got to get the 2,000 subscribers to do it. So tell your friends about the channel. Let's get there, man. I think we're only about like 60-something subs away from potentially getting there. So help your boy out. Hit like, share, tell your friends. Let's get to 2K so I can give one of you lucky subscribers that jersey. All right, I'm gonna keep reading comments and not even get into the whole process. So let's talk about the first pick. Now, honestly, when I look at this first pick, I think based off of a lot of what we heard today from Aaron Glenn, I think now I feel like there's no chance it's an offensive player. I don't think it's an offensive player. I think with the presser that Aaron Glenn had today, he kind of showed us behind the scenes a little bit in regards to what they're trying to do. And I think it's like the Mount Rushmore, man. It's like the Mount Rushmore between 4 players. It's going to be a 4-way battle when it comes to the number 2 overall pick. So now we're sitting at number 2, and the debate in the building is heated. So it's heated, obviously. Some people are probably talking offense. Some people are obviously talking defense, right? Is it going to be one of the wide receivers? Is it going to be freaking, Bain? You've heard a lot of conversations about Arvell Reese. I know a lot of you guys love Arvell Reese. I was a big fan of Arvell Reese coming into this draft period. And then you look at what he's been able to put on tape in terms of, yes, he's physically gifted, but you really haven't seen it on the field this past year. And then you start questioning whether or not it's going to translate. Anyway, there's heated debate across the board. Now, I'm going to tell you guys who my favorite is for the number 2 overall pick. And I honestly believe he's going to be the guy. So I saw in the comments somebody brought up Arvell Reese. I'm seeing Ty Simpson. It better not be Ty Simpson, man. At pick number 2. But yeah, like Styles, Paul, I actually love what Paul just said. Paul said Styles, Reese, and Woods were impressive in their interviews, in my opinion. I agree 1,000%. I think all of those guys definitely they impressed, right? So if they were like in a tier of like, maybe they've stepped their game up a little bit, they've earned themselves more spotlight in terms of the way they interviewed and just how impressive they were at the podium as well. And I absolutely love Styles. So like I love Styles, but we'll get into that. My favorite for the pick number 2 overall pick is simple, man. It's going to be Rueben Bain. It's Rueben Bain, man. I think, look, some of you guys are going to stand on Reese, and I get that. I understand you're going to bet on the athletic freakness of that dude, and that's not a bad thing at all, right? Like you can't teach, size, speed. Some things you just can't be taught. Like he's got the tangibles that you can't coach. But for me, man, Bain's my top choice, and I say he's my top choice because the Miami he's a pure pass rusher. He's a pure pass rusher. He's a pure power option, right? Like he's more power than he is speed, but I feel like he can do a combination of the two. He breaks down how he wants to go ahead and be impactful in the run as well during this pressure today, which I found to be very self-aware. Like he understands what this defense is going to be looking. You can't just be a guy that gets after the quarterback. You need to be an impact guy in the run. We got a dude in McDonald that we all loved coming out. We all thought maybe he could bulk up a little bit. He can use those long arms and be more of an impact in the run game. We haven't quite seen it the way we were hoping for it. So he's now become more of a situational guy. And so for me, when a guy like Bain gets up there and he talks about like, yeah, obviously he was a freaking beast, right? When it came to getting after the quarterback. And I know there's the concerns about like his arm length, but you look at the tape, man, the dude has 9.5 sacks. And like 80-something pressures. He had like 80-something pressures. Like the dude's a finisher, man. Like there's no way you look at this dude play football and you don't think to yourself like that is a football player. And honestly, he fits the Aaron Glenn warrior mentality better than anyone in this class, if we're being honest. Like he is the anchor that I think AG would need to really get after his to make this defense his own, right? To go ahead and start showing off his superpower, as he stated earlier today in the presser. I think you look at Bain and you saw how he interviewed, and a guy who made sure he spoke on the fact that he needs to work on stopping the run, knowing that is going to be something valuable to an Aaron Glenn run defense, says to me he's self-aware. He wants to be the answer. This isn't a guy who's going to shy away from being the answer wherever he goes, right? This guy wants to be the solution. He wants to be the answer to the problem, right? And you want that in your guy, especially when you're getting him second overall. I think Bain he just checks a lot of boxes. The only con you're going to hear about Bain is that arm length situation. And I'm not going to say it shouldn't be concerning, right? It's going to be a problem against some of those tackles who are going to be able to keep him at bay. But that guy's got an explosive first step. He's also very, very violent. He's got great hands, right? So he understands that he's got to work with shorter arms for more technique. But that technique is also coupled with a lot of power, man. I just feel like he's a guy you can kind of plug and play day one, and he's going to do his job. He's going to get after the quarterback. So I want Bain. I do. I just want Bain. We need a guy that's going to be a disruptor on that defensive line. We don't really have him. We just don't. Is JJ going to be JJ again? Is he going to come back? And even when he was JJ, he wasn't really like a consistent disruptor. A guy like Bain is. A guy like Bain is going to be the guy that constantly, you got a game plan for him. He's going to be the dude that the other team has to be like, damn it, man. All right, we got a game plan for freaking Bain. Like, you got to, and then, I mean, the guy's name is Bain, man. If it just fits, right? I mean, it's with Gotham Green, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the New York Jets. You got Bain in the building. I think Bain in freaking The Dark Knight was one of the best Bains of all time, played by Ed Hardy, or not Ed Hardy, the Hardy guy when he played Bain. Like, one of the best Bains of all time, right? Boom, we got Bain in Gotham City, man. It just makes sense. The dude is coming here to just mess stuff up. I love him. I think Bain is the answer. Not only do I think he's my favorite, when I told you I had the answers to the test when it comes to AG, Bain's the pick, guys. Bain is going to be the pick at pick number 2. He's going to be the guy. Now, there's arguments to be made for some other individuals, and I understand that, right? So there's the athlete. That's Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese is, dude's built different, right? Like that he's built different. And he also confirmed that he met with the Jets personally. And he told reporters, man, that he wants to be an edge rusher, not just an off-ball linebacker. So he made it known that he wants to be an edge rusher. He wants to be on the line. He wants to get after the quarterback. He has that Michael Parsons level burst. We know it. Like, that's what, when you look at him, that's what you're banking on when it comes to Arvell Reese, is his ability to be explosive, to get after the quarterback. Like, he has the God-given ability, the God-given talent. You didn't see a lot of it, though, on the field. And I think this is where my thought process shifted on Reese, is that, okay, so if AG wants a chess piece to revitalize the pass rush, Reese does kind of offer him the maximum ceiling. But I also feel like the floor is low with Reese in terms of, you didn't see it enough on tape. You didn't see him take advantage of those God-given abilities enough on tape on game days for you to feel confident that he's going to be able to do so on Sundays against bigger, faster competition. And again, I'm not saying he can't do it. And you gotta love what you see in the kid in terms of his overall physique, right? He's the athlete option. He's the high ceiling option. But for me, I didn't see it enough on Saturdays for me to feel comfortable to getting you at 2 and think you're going to just start doing it on Sundays, especially with a coaching staff that we're not 100% bought into yet. You know what I'm saying? Can they coach him up to be the dude? And that's where I see a guy like Reese, and I feel better getting a guy in the building that I'm seeing it on tape, and I just know, like, yeah, dog, you're going to be a problem no matter what. Bain, you're going to be a problem. Teams are going to have to figure you out. We got to tweak some things here and there to go ahead and make sure you're a full go. But I don't got to coach you up. You know, do we trust this coaching staff to have to coach up an Arvell Reese to be able to maximize his ability, because he is the most gifted individual in terms of size, speed, combination in this draft class? I think he's a freak. But that's where I look at Arvell Reese and I get some concerns, right? But there's another group that really love David Bailey. He's a rising star now, man. David Bailey. He told reporters today, I think it was. Let me read that. He told reporters he feels super blessed just to be here, but don't let the humility fool you, man. This kid is a beast, man. He says not many people can get to the QB as consistently as he can. He's very confident in that fact, and I gotta tell you, I personally appreciate it. You want a little bit of cockiness and a little bit of swagger to your position, your edge players, right? And he's got that. He had a very impressive interview with Gang Green also, and he's firmly in the mix if Mendoza goes number one. Like, again, Mendoza's going number one, so he's firmly in the mix. Like, I think he's a guy that did enough and impressed enough to where it's going to be between him and Bain. Again, that confidence to him, and he also carries himself in a manner in which he can be the face of your franchise. Like, you got to appreciate that about Bailey and what it brings to the table. And so I think he did enough in his interview to make Aaron Glenn think like, man, if it's not Bain, it could be this guy. I like Bain better, right? I think Bain's just been more consistent with it. I think Bain's more violent. But again, I understand those who look at freaking David Bailey and are intrigued with him potentially being the guy. I want Bain. I would understand Bailey. Now, there's some people who love Bailey, some people hate him. Not many individuals are in between, which is kind of weird to me. So either you love him or you don't. And Dom C had an awesome analysis on Bailey that does make you really question, like, is he the dude at the next level? But that's a Dom C show. You want to check that out. You want to go ahead and see Dom's channel. But yeah, Bailey's definitely in the mix, I think, based off of, again, how well he interviewed. And he just seems like he's an AG guy, a guy that AG could look at and think like, yeah, I can go ahead and work with this kid. And I think that's why he's now moved himself into this category. So the wild card. There's a wild card on this freaking Mount Rushmore of options, right? And it's one that I would lose my absolute mind if it wound up being the case. But then again, you watch the guy play, man, and it's hard to be mad at it because you see the ability, you see what he can do. It's Caleb Downs. Man, listen, before y'all come for me in the chat, Caleb Downs, man, if the Jets decide to go best player available, regardless of position, I think Downs is the guy. I do. I think Downs is an all-around football player. Like, he's going to be a plug-and-play safety like day one. High IQ guy. He's physical. He can cover. He can do a little bit of it all, man. He's like the most polished defensive back we've probably seen. I mean, in years, I don't want to put a specific number. Like, it's been years since we've seen a guy come out that's this polished. But again, it's number two. At number two, do you really want to go safety? It's a bold statement for a team that needs a pass rush too, right? So we know we need some pass rush help. But again, if you're talking about best player available, hey man, Downs is a dude. He's a dude. He's a dude, man. And I don't want. Let me be clear. I don't want that to be the case. I do not want that to be the case. But another individual who I think has AG seeing stars, right? Has AG kind of gushing a little bit, only because he's a fire and forget weapon. He adds some versatility to what you can do on that defensive side of the football. He can be impactful in the run, in coverage, like the dude, and he's a high IQ player. Like, he screams AG caliber cat to me. And because he screams AG caliber cat to me, with the fact that AG boasted so much at his presser today about being, he's about to show us his superpower, right? That he took ownership of the defense being bad last year, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like he's going to take some swings to make sure this defense has the components he needs in it for him to at least look like he can do this coaching thing. And that might be desperate. It might be a desperate swing. I would consider Caleb Downs at number two a desperate swing. But again, he's a high IQ guy who has great leadership ability. He could be there day one for you. And again, our safety room is so bad that you got to look at it and think like, maybe it's worth the swing. So I like Caleb Downs. I think he's a phenomenal player. He's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch his games, and like, that dude balls. He's a baller. But at pick number two, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And as Jets fans, I don't think we should do it. But again, I think AG right now, with just the way his presser went today, it came off to me that I'd be naive to not bring Caleb's down, to not put Caleb Downs' name in this conversation as a potential option. I don't think Caleb Downs makes it to pick 16. I don't think any of these guys make it past pick 10. I think everybody I just mentioned, you know what I'm saying, in this Mount Rushmore will be going by pick 10, which is why if you want them, you're going to have to get them at pick number 2. Again, I think that's a stretch, but Caleb Downs, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling y'all, he's a football player. He's a football player, and he's a high IQ one at that. So he's a guy that I think can kind of come in there. And I'm not saying you would love it. I'm not saying you would hate it. I'm just saying, like, he's a guy that can actually get some things done. So that's the Mount Rushmore for me in terms of pick number 2. This is what I think could potentially happen. I believe one of those guys are going to be drafted by the New York Jets. It's going to be one of those guys. And if I'm betting money on it today, the money is on Bain. I think Bain is going to be the pick at number 2. And Bailey might be 1B. Only because, 1, is going to be the edge position, and 2, both of those guys fit the mold of what I think an Aaron Glenn would want on his defense in terms of physical presence, toughness, violence, and again, kind of put them on the edge and know they're going to be able to do their job. Whereas Arvell Reese, I think, is going to require some coaching. Yes, he's a very shiny toy, like it's a shiny sports car, right? But do you have the track to go ahead and really stretch the wheels on that sports car? I think that's going to be the hindrance for making Reese the number 2 overall pick. And Caleb Downs, I would probably say would be the 3rd potential option for AG, only because, again, this is probably the best player of this draft class. Unfortunately, the best player is playing safety. So that's where you're looking at and you're just like, it makes no sense to go that route. But AG's back against the wall. I don't know. He might take a swing on something like this that would upset us as a fan base, but make all the sense in the world for him. So that brings me to pick number 2. We got 2 first-round picks this year, right? And pick 16. I think this one is going to be either weapons or a chess piece. Now, the chess piece I absolutely love. Like, absolutely love. But before we get into the chess piece that could potentially be the pick at pick number 16, Garrett Wilson needs help. He does. Garrett Wilson needs help. And at pick 16, I think you're in a sweet spot for you to land a potential star that could be that guy. And there's 3 names everyone's talking about. There's 3 names. And those names are simple, right? It's Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, and Jordan Tyson. 3 names. All 3 of those guys can play the wide receiver position at an elite level. And I think would complement the team well. They would be the 1B to Garrett Wilson being the 1A. Now, I went and I did a video in my video last week before last. I spoke about Mekhi Lemon being my guy. I think Mekhi Lemon, it would be our JSN. You know what I'm saying? Similar build in terms of the guy catches every single thing thrown his way. And crisp route runner. He can create separation. He can go ahead and get you yak. He does a little bit of everything, and he does it well, extremely well. He reminds me of the poor man's JSN, right? He's also of a physical guy for being a little dude. But the number 1 option, let's be honest, the number 1 wide receiver on the board this year is Carnell Tate. It's Carnell Tate. Ohio State star is the consensus wide receiver 1. Now, he caught an absurd, and I mean just an absurd 12 of 14 contested targets last year. If somehow he slips past pick number 10, the Jets, they kind of have to sprint to the podium and get Tate. They do. And I'm saying that is because Tate and Wilson would be a fever dream for any quarterback. You got your big-bodied freaking wide receiver who can run routes, can run some crisp routes, and get anything you throw up at him contested. And then you've got Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, your typical, you know what I'm saying, like wide receiver 1 who can do it all. You can put him in the slot. You can put him out. You can put him outside. He can go ahead and run routes. You can catch it on it. He can do anything you need him to do, right? He can also create separation. He can make people miss. And then both of them are freaking Ohio State guys. Then, again, that is definitely – wide receiver university. Let's just call it what it is. So you love the ceiling because you know that Tate's going to come out being pretty much a polished product, right? You got to tweak some things here and there, but you can go ahead and start him day 1. So Carnell Tate he's the dude. Like he's clearly the number 1 wide receiver in this draft class. Can he get the 16? I think that might be a reach with the Jets decide to move up to pick 11, pick 10 to go get him if it's not too expensive, I can see it happening. But yeah, now Tate and Garrett Wilson would be a dream for any quarterback in the building this year, especially for our rookie coming into the game next year. You've got two guys who are going to make your job easy. Now, the number 2 option is a guy that I love, Mekhi Lemon. I'm gonna tell you guys, man. I think Mekhi Lemon, the USC product, is being called the dream target at pick 16 because realistically, he could fall to number 16. He's a slot savant with elite technique, right? Like you gotta love that about him. And Frank Reich's new offense, Lemon could be the ultimate safety valve. Like he could be a safety net again for whoever the quarterback is this year, and for the quarterback next year. You're gonna have to think twice about double teaming Garrett Wilson, right? When you've got a guy like Mekhi Lemon who can get open at will, you can play him in the slot as well. You can play him outside as well. Again, I believe he'd be our you know what I'm saying, like great value version of JSN. Maybe he could actually be, you know what I'm saying, the next JSN. Like who knows? He's got the skill set for it, but JSN has proven like he's a different animal. So I don't want to go ahead and put too much on this kid. But Mekhi Lemon to me would be an outstanding 1B option to Garrett Wilson. And I get it. Some people are like, nah, man, the size thing, we need some bigger body. And I get that. I understand we want some bigger bodies. But I'm looking at what the freaking Seahawks just did. I think that we'd be selling ourselves short if we thought like we couldn't have two guys who are sub 6 foot that run crisp routes that can catch everything and can go ahead and create separation and get yak would be a bad thing for any quarterback in the room. A.D. Mitchell did do some things not good enough for us to feel good about him being a big body wide receiver. This is a second round overall pick with elite speed and elite size. But again, I love Mekhi Lemon. I would love him as a 1B. I get the Carnell Tate thing. Carnell Tate to me would also be an incredible 1B. And then there's the guy I'm not a big fan of as much. I'm not a big fan of Jordan Tyson. He's the number 3 option in terms of wide receiver that individuals are tying to the New York Jets. And I mean, the Arizona State speedster is what I'm going to call him. He's got unreal separation skills. Like, yeah, I mean, the dude's always open. But the catch is, man, like the red flag, if we're going to be honest, man, he's dude's always hurt. It's not available. He's not available. His durability is a huge question mark. I think right now he's currently actually kind of beat up right now, too. He's not going to be doing much at the combine. He's not doing full workouts this week. So that might actually help him, honestly, fall to pick number 16. But the question I have at that point is, do we want him? Do we want him to? I would hope that he does well enough in his interviews to where he tricks somebody to take him ahead of a Tate or ahead of a Mekhi Lemon, because the fact that the New York Jets deal with injuries as much as we do, I don't know why we'd risk doing it to ourselves with a premium draft pick in this draft class. And again, talented dude, extremely talented dude, but availability is the best ability, and he hasn't proven that he can be that guy. So for me, I'm going to say, yeah, I'll pass on Jordan Tyson. In fact, I would rather the defensive chess piece before I would take a guy like Jordan Tyson. So let's say the Jets have the option of Jordan Tyson or this chess piece. I want this chess piece. I want this guy a lot. Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles is my defensive chess piece for potentially the second first rounder we have in this draft class. If we don't go receiver, Sonny Styles is a rare 3-level defender. Yo, he's a former safety who transitioned to linebacker and can even rush the edge. I mean, like literally, like he's a 3-level defender, and he's good at every tier of it. Not to mention, he's a leader of men, a guy you can go ahead and give the green dot to on day one. He can lead your defense. Man, he told reporters that he's still polishing his game. Again, this is a guy who's able to go ahead and be impactful at 3 levels on the defense. But he told reporters, man, that he still needs to polish his game. But he's got Pro Bowl level or caliber athleticism. If we go Bain at 2 and Styles at 16, this defense becomes an instant nightmare. Like it becomes a problem. AG can do some things, with those two guys infused into his defense. I mean, the question is it going to be him or Alex, the guy from the 31-year-old linebacker, Alex, you know what I'm talking about, the blondie, golden boy coming out of the lines. I think he's going to be a New York Jet. I think that he's going to be a heavy target for Aaron Glenn in free agency. So are they going to go ahead and, like spend the capital? But if you tell me we get Bain and we get Sonny Styles in this draft class, not gonna lie to you, man, I like that. I like that. So let me know what you guys think about that. So that's the first round, right? That will be the first round if the New York Jets decide to go with what I believe to be the case. I think it's going to be a wide receiver at pick 16 and Bain at pick number 2. I don't think we're going to get Sonny Styles. I would love that to be the case. Maybe, something goes wrong in free agency and we can't get, Golden Boy to come play linebacker for us. And if that's the case, I think Sonny Styles definitely becomes an option there. But there's a lot to love about Sonny Styles' game. I mean, it just translates. You just watch the guy play. You're like, yep, yeah. Now that dude can play football at the next level. I would say his ceiling is potential Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. His floor is going to be a starter for you. Like he's an NFL starter. whether he's a Pro Bowler for you or a consistent starter, either way, I like Styles a lot. I would love to see him in gangrene, but I think free agency is going to dictate whether or not he's able to go ahead and make that move. Now, some people will tell you like there's a sleeper pick in terms of that pick 16, right? And so it's about focusing primarily in the trenches, the defensive tackle market. Some people say you let go of Quinnen Williams, you got to replace Quinnen Williams. That's why Peter Woods right now is being mentioned with a lot of individuals. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. Peter Woods is a dog. Like he's a dog, and you like the kid. You like the kid too, man. He just seems happy. Just seems very happy, very passionate about football. So the Jets met with him also, I think, today, if I'm not mistaken. And by all accounts, like Woods was just talking about how great the experience was. Now, I know these guys are showing out for their potential next head coaches. They want to be the highest pick possible, and this is why I always laugh when people say like, no, these kids aren't going to want to come to the New York Jets. Oh, why would they want to come to the New York Jets? These guys are about their legacy right now, and they also understand the value of the dollar. These guys understand as professionals that their job is to get as much money as possible in a league where their careers are going to be short. You know what I'm saying? Like the average NFL career is 3.5 years, right? So yeah, if you're good at your job, you can extend that. But the higher draft pick you are, the more guaranteed money you're going to get, you know what I'm saying, for that first contract. So people that keep talking about like players aren't going to want to come here. They are. Yes, they are. It's one of 32 teams. And believe it or not, if you want to be a high draft pick in the NFL, you got to go to a shitty team. That's just the way the system works. You got to go to a shitty team unless the team trades up, of course, to go get you. But that's how the NFL works. That's why. And then he was a lock for a top 5 pick a year ago, too. That's the crazy part. His production dipped a little bit in 2025, which is why I'm talking about him right now at 16. His stock it's slid. But from what I can see today, the Jets didn't seem too deterred. They spent their formal meeting installing defenses with him, so there's clearly some interest there. I think picking him at 16 would be a bit of a reach. Is there a potential trade back into the first round to go get a guy like Woods if he falls a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Maybe we've got the ammunition to do it, but. Yeah, I think Peter Woods is someone that can go ahead and be pursued by this front office. So if we go edge at 2, could Woods really be the anchor at pick 16? All I know is AG wants synergy. He mentioned it, right? He wants synergy, and Woods has that high-level character that this staff is talking about, that they're preaching. Again, dude just seems like he just loves football. So he could be one of those guys that we're don't be surprised if you hear him at pick number 16, especially if the top wide receivers are gone and Sonny Styles is gone. I could see Peter Woods sneaking in there as being a guy that just wind up drafting at pick number 16. So I threw him in there as a potential for that second pick. Again, if I'm betting today who the pick is going to be, I got my money on Bain and either Tate or Lemon at pick number 16. But Sonny Styles and Peter Woods are definitely options. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad at either option. I would love Sonny Styles. Would love that. I think I would like the Peter Woods pick just because the guy just seems genuine and he's passionate and he's the kind of character you want to go ahead and build this team around. So Peter Woods is the guy that I think we should be keeping an eye out as a wild card for that 16th, the pick number 16. Mike, what's going on, brother? So he says, I believe Styles will be taken before 16. However, how about Bain Jr. at 2 and Caleb Banks at 16? Your take, personally, I'd take Styles. I would take Styles in a heartbeat, but if Caleb somehow, I think you mean Caleb Downs. Is he referring to Caleb Downs? Hold on, let me look at my notes. What's Caleb Banks? Making sure I'm not confusing that with anybody. Yeah. So like for me, if Styles is there, you've got to go get him. So if you're talking about Caleb Banks, is he the interior? The time you remember the interior defensive lineman. All I have in my notes for him is that he's 6'6", 330 pounds. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was more geared to being a second round pick. I think I kind of saw some stuff on him on Dom's big board. So I won't lie to you, man. I would have to go back and take a look to give you a clear answer. But if I'm thinking of the same guy, all I have for him right now, Caleb Banks, interior defensive lineman, 6'6", 330 pounds. Long arms. I have long arms. I'd have to go back and take a look at Dom's notes on this kid. I can't. Again, I don't know. Now, Caleb Downs, if you were referring to Caleb Downs, if he's there at 16, which I doubt, I would go that route 100%. I don't know how I feel about actually, even with Woods. Like I would like Woods. I think he's one of the best freaking interior defensive linemen. He is the best interior defensive lineman in this draft class. I wouldn't love him at pick number 16. I'd like it, but if you're telling me I can get a impact guy like a Sonny Styles, like one of those wide receivers, I'm doing it. But if I gotta take Peter Woods or Jordan Tice, I think I'm gonna take Peter Woods personally. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna need to do more research, Mike. I can't give you a legitimate answer on Caleb Banks at 16. But if I'm not mistaken, man, the last thing I read up on him was that he was a day 2 guy. But I'm assuming he must be moving up of draft boards if you're bringing him up. So I'm assuming that must be the case. He's moving up some draft boards. Mike Katana says Styles is 2 for me. Styles is going to the Giants, Commanders, or the Bucks, in my opinion. You think Harbaugh would get Styles with the top 10 pick? Man, maybe. I do like Styles a lot. And he's, again, like Caleb Downs, he's going to be a day 1 starter you plug in, and you could actually give him you can give Styles the dot. He's ready to go. Caleb Banks could be the captain on your defense day 1. Caleb Downs can be the captain of your defense on day 1. Both of those guys, man, they're just football players, man. They see the game. They're high IQ guys. They're athletic. So, yeah, I guess I could see Harbaugh actually. Yeah, that would make some sense. I would love for Styles to drop outside of the top freaking 10 to just even consider it. But like I said before, I think it's going to be Bain and one of those wide receivers. Lou B, Super Jets fan. Appreciate the super chat, brother, man. Thank you very much. Last year, I wanted Dart. This year, Cole Payton. I don't know, you, man. Dart surprised me. I didn't think he was NFL ready. I thought that they reached for him. But listen, he impressed quite a bit. But even right now, you're hearing things about how the current regime is not sure whether or not he's there next year. Should they look to trade him? So there's some concerns there. I mean, Cole Payton, when are you thinking about taking Cole Payton, though? Right? Because the Bison quarterback, you know what I'm saying, that people kind of hyped up quite a bit, has not done very well in the NFL thus far. Not his fault. But you like his size, right? He's a 6'4", right? I think 6'4" guy, dual threat quarterback. You definitely like him, but where are you drafting him? Right? Like I feel like if you're talking about a guy like Cole, he's not in that day one conversation. He's not going to be your dart this year where you go ahead and take the shot and to grab him at the back end of the first. I don't even know if you really consider him a second round pick, right? I think he's like a third round pick talent, maybe fourth round pick talent, but I guess at the quarterback position right now, being as weak as it is, you could probably see him sneaking into the second round. Do you want to go ahead and get him in the second? I'm going to sound ridiculous for saying this, man, but I'm a huge fan of Drew Allar. I really believe, like, if he's available, you know what I'm saying, day 3, go get him. I know he's fallen off the radar for so many people, but I do feel like he definitely fits the mold of what Frank Reich might be looking for to run his offense. So I'm expecting Drew Allar to go ahead and get some love from the New York Jets. But again, you would have called Dart. I called that one wrong. So if you liked Dart last year, maybe Cole Payton deserves an opportunity for us to take a look at him more, because I know he's a dual threat guy. I know he plays for North Dakota. I know he's got the size you're looking for. But yeah, I just don't know if you're taking him. You're not taking him in the first round, I don't assume, is what you're asking. So you would have to probably take him in the second round, because the fact that the quarterback class is so weak, he's probably not going to drop to the third. But yeah, I mean, now I'm kind of curious. Now I feel like I need to go ahead and invest more time in Cole Payton, because again, I definitely did not think Dart was going to be all that, and he looks like he's an NFL caliber starting quarterback. Sean goes, any chance we spend our money in free JC on Linderbaum? I really want him. We got a backup starting center right now, and he would keep our O-line young at the top for a long time. Listen, that is my number one target in free agency is Linderbaum. Sean, I agree with you 100%. I think you bring him in with this young offensive line, you're solidifying it. You're solidifying this offensive line for at least the next freaking, 4 to 8 years, right? Depending on how nice the salary cap continues to be to the NFL. Linderbaum instantly would make this a top 3 offensive line with our young tackles that have stalled out. And if you can keep AVT as well, then you're looking at potentially replacing Simpson on that offensive line. I would love for Linderbaum to be the guy that we heavily target, but I think he's going to go to the Giants. I think that relationship with Harbaugh is there. I think that he's going to go to the Giants, and that's going to be where he leans. But maybe we can offer him more money and offer him to come play with a real offensive line. He's going to have some real support on that offensive line with, with the young tackles. I feel like those guys want to be part of elite offensive lines, and we have a better O-line than the Giants. So that might be a factor that we get on our side. But yeah, I would love it. I would absolutely freaking love it. If Linderbaum is my number one target in this offseason as a free agent, that's who I want. I want us to go ahead and get that dude, get him. But yeah, it's probably going to be like Alec, though. It's going to be their main focus. I can see Aaron Glenn putting all of his effort into making sure he gets his linebacker in here. So again, not sure how that would work out for me. Miguel says Cole Payton would be a 5th rounder. You think so? I don't know, man. I don't know if, because of the lack of quarterback options in this draft class, I don't know if he's going to fall that much. I would think the 3rd, just because he's got the big arm, but he's made some. Man, he's got some arm talent too, man. Like, yeah, the mechanics are wonky, and he needs to work on that. And the processing speed could use some work, but I guess he's got like Justin Fields. No, that's disrespectful. Justin Fields can't throw for shit. This kid can throw the ball. Like he's made some pretty good throws. The quarterback class is weak. So because it's weak, I think you have to bump him up a round or two. And I think that's why you're looking at 3rd round for him to wind up leaving. Again, I think Drew Allar might wind up being a New York Jet only because I think Reich might make the argument he can work with that dude because he fits the Frank Reich mold, if that makes any sense. Man, okay. Yeah, we got off track, didn't we? So we were talking about Peter Woods. We were talking about Peter Woods. If we were to go to edge at 2 and we add Woods at it, no, we talked about that. Yeah, all right. I mean, what else are we talking about? Do we talk about quarterback? Since we're on quarterback, let's talk about quarterback because we're seeing some stuff going on right now in terms of the quarterback position. So Alabama's Ty Simpson, which is right now the consensus number 2 overall quarterback in this draft class. What do you say? So he's going to be throwing the ball. So he's going to seize the opportunity right now, and he's going to be throwing the ball at the combine because I think Mendoza is going to be waiting for his pro day, he said. So, yeah, man, Simpson's decided to go ahead and throw in Indy. He wants to prove to everybody that, listen, I'm the clear QB2. Right now he is. Clear QB2. Now, I don't know if this hurts him or if this helps him. I really don't. I don't want Ty Simpson. I don't want him. I look at him and I just see Mac Jones light. I don't even know if I would call him 2.0. They're like the same player to me. I would like to avoid going that route. Now for me, it's Drew Allar, right? He's healthy. So that was some of the big news coming out that he's healthy. After his ankle surgery, I think it was like in October. He's fully recovered, and he's ready to show off that elite arm strength. Look, man, Drew Allar is 6'5", 240 pounds. He's the prototypical build, and this coaching staff, I think, is going to be watching him very closely. Now, I'm not saying that you get Drew Allar and all of a sudden you've got your franchise guy. I think Drew Allar could be that dude that, you know what I'm saying, can get some valuable reps in this year to be a legitimate backup. Maybe he could be our I don't know, our Jacoby Brissett or our Jameis Winston for our franchise guy next year. But the dude did enough last year to be considered a first-round draft pick. Somebody gave him some advice that he should run back to college and then improve on his draft stock, and then boom, he gets hurt. Now, granted, there was some sloppy play before he got hurt. He looked like he was not the same guy. He looked a bit, and I understand that. But last year, this was a guy that a lot of us were pounding the let's go get Drew Allar. So I think the demise of Drew Allar is greatly exaggerated. And so for me, I would love for the Jets to go ahead and wind up getting this kid this year and adding him to this roster. I just believe that Drew Allar, with his size, with Frank Reich, the quarterback whisperer, being our new offensive coordinator, he could unlock that dude's full potential. And again, I don't think he's a franchise level quarterback, but he might be fun to watch this year to give us some hope as we pursue the number 1 overall pick to get our quarterback of the future next year. But maybe he plays well enough to be a backup for this team. So I'm okay with taking a swing at Drew Allar because at the very least, he's going to signify hope. Because at the end of the day, guys, that's all we're going to be aiming for this season because it's going to be a very tough one. So why not just pursue hope in any capacity? He's a big-bodied guy. He's strong-armed. He's got a little wiggle to him. Drew Allar might make the season fun. The majority of us who want Jameis Winston aren't expecting Jameis Winston to come in here and take us to the playoffs. He would just be fun. He'd make the season at least enjoyable to watch. Drew Allar would do the same thing, but in terms of like hope. What if we unlock this dude's true potential? What if Frank Reich can go ahead and find Drew Allar's inner whatever to make him a franchise quarterback? I don't think it's possible. I don't think he's got that in him. And I don't want nobody messing up our opportunity to get a legitimate franchise quarterback next year. But Drew Allar, to me, would at least offer us more than just bringing in like a Kyler Murray or a Mac Jones or even a Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, I already think we know who he is. He's Mac Jones. To me, he's just Mac Jones. I would rather bypass that. Now, I have heard some people bring up freaking Nussmeier, and okay, so Jack says Nussmeier is a very iffy option for me in this year's draft. I think he has great potential, but his mistakes remind me of Zach Wilson. The better forces those. That's true. That's true. But he would still signify hope, right? Like because it's the unknown. It's the not knowing, right? And when you don't know, when you're able to so when you don't know and you have that hope factor, it goes a long way. So somebody mentions Tyler Huntley. Yeah, I'm not opposed to Tyler Huntley. Look, to me, all of these backups are going to be the same thing, right? Like you're not going to get a backup coming in here that's going to take us to the promised land. No matter the options we have for quarterback this year are all mid. Every option, whether it's Tyler McKee or whether it's Tyler Huntley, whether it's Tanner McKee, Willis, Malik Willis, like they're all going to be mid. These guys are not going to come in here and all of a sudden be franchise quarterbacks. They can be serviceable and they might be entertaining. So I think having that kind of mentality, I think, is going to be what allows us to take this season in stride, vice going overboard. Yeah, my bad on that, Brian. I thought I was able to click them quiet before they started barking, so I apologize. Let the dog bark. They barked for a little bit. Then I told them there was enough. It was just it's my kids and my wife. I have no clue why they're barking because they don't know who they are. Makes no sense. So yeah, but I think we just should be honest as a fan base, man. When it comes to the quarterback options this year, we're looking for two things: entertainment or hope. And you can get one or the other. I don't know if we can probably get both in a young guy that you bring in from the draft, right? But it's going to be a tough year, guys. It's going to be a tough year. Losing out on Mendoza means ultimately we're building this roster for the future. And the hope is that the quarterback we bring in next year, whether it's our pick or the Colts pick or the Cowboys pick, all of which have the potential to be a top 5 pick, if we're being honest with ourselves, that's going to be the guy. That's going to be the dude that winds up being the franchise quarterback that we surround with the talent, and we're able to go ahead and see what they can do at the next level. And again, we've got the components to kind of build it all up. So when we get to that point, we're ready to go. Speaking of components, what about those 2 second-round picks that we got for this year? Now, we might trade some of those assets up to potentially get back into the first. That wouldn't shock me. But like, I like Caden McDonald. I don't know if anybody's tracking, man. Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, defensive tackle. I think he's a starter level nose tackle. He is. He's one of the guys I'm looking at in the second round. Thinking to myself, all right, you can come in day one and you can be a starter. You've got that skill set. He's got like the power to keep linebackers clean. I think he would be a perfect interior complement to an edge rusher like Bain. And that's one of the guys I'm looking at in terms of being an option for us for the second round pick. And then this one's probably not going to have a lot of a favor because we're talking about another freaking Malachi, so I apologize in advance. But Malachi Fields, man, the wide receiver out of Virginia. I think if we miss out on the top 3 receivers in the first round, Fields is a name that we should keep an eye on. And I say that because he was a standout, man, at the Senior Bowl. And he provides the size and catch radius the Jets lack outside of Garrett Wilson, right? So he would be a compliment to Garrett Wilson. No, he's not going to be like a 1B option, but he can be, you know what I'm saying, a wide receiver 2B option. If you got him and an A.D. Mitchell, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth with that 2 position, I think you're in a good spot. It was an interesting day, man, because you saw some of these interviews, you see some of these freaking potential prospects talking about their experience, talking about the Jets, and it all seems positive. Right. But honestly, man, what really did it for me was watching AG and Mougey just do their thing, man. I feel like we got to decode the comments from those top guys, right? So we got Mougey, who in my opinion was very blunt. Like he said, the offseason is going to be aggressive, but calculated. So this is a guy that's telling me they're not throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. They're not panic buying because they understand that they're on the hot seat. So hearing an adult, like he's being an adult and telling us that it's going to be aggressive because you obviously need to get talent on this team and you've got the assets to do that, but calculated. So there's a plan in place and they're hoping to stick to that plan. So it wasn't just lip service in terms of if you watch the press conference, you felt like there was some poise there was some confidence behind the comments, and it wasn't just a talk. There's a world where AG and Mougey have both locked themselves in a room and realized that they might lose this opportunity come next year if they don't turn this thing around, or at least turn it in the right direction. And if they're turning it in the right direction, do they get buy-in from the fan base, more buy-in from the team, buy-in from freaking Woody potentially? He also addressed the elephant in the room too. He was talking about Justin Fields. And again, he confirmed that Justin Fields is still under contract, but stated that they are evaluating the position through every landscape. In my opinion, don't be surprised if a veteran like Cousins is in play, or a project draft pick like I'm not going to say Ty Simpson. I'm going to go with like a Drew Allar or something like that's in play to bring it to the building. And I don't know if they're bold enough to keep Justin Fields on the roster and make it an actual competition come training camp. I think that bridge is probably burned. But Justin Fields has been pretty vocal in regards to, you know what I'm saying, how he's embraced God, man. The kid is just very happy to be here. He understands the business. So maybe he is another guy who wants another year under the system, or maybe he feels Frank Reich can help him unlock another tier to his skill set. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but there wasn't conversation about him being traded, or they were going to discuss cutting him here or cutting him there. He's been great to us, and we want to give him ample opportunity to go ahead and experience free agency. Nothing like that, right? The kind of talks you would usually hear when the team's already made their minds up and they're trying to go ahead and do the right thing by the player. You didn't get that. It seems like for now he's in the conversation, and there's going to be more options brought in till they get their quarterback. So that was Mougey, man. And then you got AG. Like, he kind of dropped the bomb, right? He's taking back the play calling duties. Not really a bomb. We all knew it was coming. But the way he talked about it, he made it seem like it was his choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, he called play calling like his superpower. He admitted that last year, you know, the defensive regression was definitely on him, and he promised a quick turnaround, man. He's looking for synergy. I don't know what that means, but he's looking for synergy, and that's why he hired Brian Duker to be his DC, because they've been through the fire together. And this combine is about finding a player who fits that warrior mentality, which is why I bring up Bain. When he brought up finding a player that fits that warrior mentality, right? And then he brings up Brian Duker in their time together. I started thinking about freaking the edge rusher with the Lions. God, wow, cool cat. And I feel like that was his way of kind of letting us know, like, he's looking at. I'm telling you, I think it's either Bain or freaking Bailey, with Bain being my number one choice, only because he says warrior. You watch Bain's game, man. If you watch Bain's game, it screams freaking like violent. Just a violent cat. He's a savage. So I feel like when he brings that up, he's kind of giving us like the cheat code, or giving us, you know what I'm saying, like the answers to the test. And that's why I think that Bain might legitimately be the dude that the Jets draft. I really believe he's going to be the pick at number 2. I really do. And I think AG is going to prioritize defense, because listen what he just said. He pretty much just told us, man, that he's guaranteeing almost that the defense is going to turn it around. Well, you need players to do that. And if you're telling us this now, it's because you're under the impression that you're already got some individuals in mind who's going to help you do so. You need the players to do it. I think Bain could be that guy, man. Look, man, I don't know if AG and Mougey are going to have a year 2. I'm sorry, a year 3, right? I don't know if they're on the hot seat right now. I don't know what they've talked about with Woody. I do know it seems like it's 2 adults understanding that they have a job to do in building a competent roster and building a competent team. And if you've got 2 adults who feel that way and they're speaking that way, then okay, maybe the assets we're allowing them to utilize this year to kind of get things back on track to potentially save their jobs, maybe that's not all going to go to waste. And for me, that was my biggest concern. We're giving these guys the opportunity to to draft players and use up this cap space for guys who might not be here, past week 8 of next year. And to see the way these pressures kind of went down today, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, I felt good about it. But again, that's the homer in me as a Jets fan. I want to believe my team's going to figure it out. Every other team seems to do it. Why not us, right? So I'm hoping that this is the case, that the New York Jets are going to figure this thing out. Sean goes, I wish I found my superpowers. I hope AG found his. I hope when he told us that was his superpower, that he legitimately knows what he's talking about. Because, look, I've been up on here and I've said it before, man. I don't know like if the defenses he coached at with the Lions the last couple of years were really that great, or was it really that talented? You know what I'm saying? Like he has one top 10 defense under his belt as a defensive coordinator. So again, he says it's his superpower. All right, cool. Well, I guess we're going to find out. So I have questions about that as well. Dano goes, Sean, Malachi Fields, 2 names we hate mashed together. That is absolutely gross. I didn't even catch that until I just caught that. Yeah, that's gross. Those are 2 names that we are not fans of. And yet, now that I've said that, I disregard that second pick that I put out there for the second round. That's just nasty. How did I not see that? I didn't even think about Malachi Fields. I did not even put 2 and 2 together. Way to put that together for me, Dano. Now I'm disgusted by it. Thank you, my guy. I appreciate you. You obviously, Sean thinks it's hilarious too. Lou, good morning. We'll try to trade Justin to Philly in the Tanner deal. That makes so much sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense, Lou, because then they would have a quarterback that's like a backup quarterback that's like their freaking starting quarterback, not the best thrower of the football, but they're athletic physically. They can use their legs. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Hey, we're going to trade you Justin Fields. We're going to eat up some of that cap, right? And send us Tanner. It works. It makes sense, right? Because you get a quarterback to back up your starter that has very similar playing styles. Again, Justin Fields is not on the level of Jalen Hurts, but you're still getting a guy where you don't have to change up the freaking offense all that much in order for it to be functional. And you have, I think, a more athletic version of the quarterback. I think Justin Fields is way more athletic than Jalen Hurts in terms of using his legs. Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. That's a chip that could be played to get a guy like Tanner McKee in the building. Jets Worldwide, what's going on, brother, man? Nice to see you guys here. Dang, no, listen, if I missed you, Brian, what's going on? Brian said, I don't see the current cap space going that far. 77 currently, 13, 15 million, 36 million. Yeah, nah, listen, when all that freaking was it dead cap, we're paying the $79 million to people not on the current roster right now. When all that got cycled in through over the cap, I realized, like, man, that $100 million we had dropped real freaking quick. We're only gonna be able to bring in like 2 legitimate like freaking free agents. When I think it's gonna be the linebacker, Golden Boy from the Lions, and I'm hoping the other guy is Linderbaum, and hopefully we can retain a guy like AVT. I know some people don't want to keep AVT, man. I feel like we're being silly. Right? If you're able to keep him here and he's going to give us 8 to 10 games, that's going to be 8 to 10 games of great to elite play. When he's on the field, he's one of the best on the field. If the price is right and he's trying to redeem himself, which I think he just got to be a redemption discount here, then AVT should be given an extension. I'd give that man 2 more years. Go get Linderbaum as well, and then you put him. Oh my gosh, man, that line would be top tier, and your guy comes in next year with one of the best lines in football in front of him, and you don't have to worry about your newly drafted franchise guy getting placed on his ass every freaking 10 seconds. That goes a long way to his development. That's my take on it. But yeah, you're right, man. That cap space definitely dwindled away real quick from projected $109 million to $77 million. And now I'm wondering how real is that $200 million we got, sitting for next year. Well, I guess time will tell. But yeah, you're talking about maybe maybe one big name, right? If one big name, and then you're gonna have to, like you said, man, bargain bin shopping. Sean said he's really good, Gunny. I also like Akeem Mesidor at the point in the draft. I'm wondering who I must have mentioned that he said he really likes. Paul, I think we need a big receiver opposite Garrett, maybe Boston. I wouldn't be opposed with Boston. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, Boston would be another option as well. I don't think so. I'm glad you said that, Paul, because I'm one of those individuals. I don't think he's going to be a first round draft pick. I think he's more of a second round guy, right? Or maybe you trade back into the first round to go ahead and secure the option. But Boston is another guy that also got some good hands, big body dude. He would complement freaking Garrett Wilson well. I don't think he's in the tier of those three guys that I mentioned. But Boston, I would not be opposed to that as well if you're talking about using one of those second round picks to go grab him and complement Garrett Wilson if we missed out on one of the other guys. All right, y'all. Listen, it's we've already gone over on the Hangar Hangout, man. My apologies. Appreciate you guys chopping it up with me, man. But listen, at the end of the day, the board is set. The board is set. We know what the Jets are picking. The combine's officially here. It's the best time of year for us as Jets fans. This is when we get to actually start being hopeful about our team. You know what I'm saying? We make some moves, and maybe we'll go ahead and win the offseason again. Maybe we should win the offseason because obviously winning it hasn't helped us over the last decade. So maybe losing the offseason might actually be a good thing for us. Who knows? But board is set, man. And that too, I'm thinking it's Bain. I do. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I think Bain is. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and jump on Kelsey, and I'm going to go ahead and put a bid down for Bain to be the number 2 overall pick by the New York Jets. That's how confident that I am. He's going to be the guy. And at 16, yeah, man. If it's not one of those wide receivers, it's going to be Styles. If somehow Styles falls to number 16, he's gone at pick number 2 or pick 2 of the first round for the New York Jets. It's going to be Styles or one of those wide receivers. And it wouldn't shock me if Peter Woods winds up being the guy if we lose out on all those individuals, man. Look, honestly, guys, if we're being honest, man, the 2026 Jets are being built like right now. Like it's legitimately here. We're in full rebuild mode, right? And if these guys are being honest, if Mougey's telling us the truth in regards to like being calculated and they're not going to be like, they're not going to be stupid, then we should feel good about that because that means they're planning for this roster to be good, not for them to be here next year. Because again, if you plan for the roster to be good, it might correlate to you being here next year, which isn't a bad thing. So there's a chance still. So for me, I think what we're seeing right now is the potential for the New York Jets to not only be relevant. I'm not saying we're going to be relevant like, oh man, we're going to the playoffs. I don't think that's in the cards for us next year. It's just not. But I do like the fact that they're talking about building this team, and it doesn't sound like there's panic coming out of that room. Now, they might be panic behind closed doors. They might be freaking out, but they're telling us they want to do right by this team with being aggressive but calculated. Excuse me. One more. We got Don. Bain is the best pass rusher in this draft. Everybody wants to overthink it. I agree with you 100%. I literally the only thing you're hearing about this guy is, oh my God, his arms are short. Cool. Watch the games. Watch the tape. That didn't seem to really bother him much in college. The dude is a football player. He's a violent football player. He understands how to get to the quarterback, a very important skill set in this game. The Jets don't have it. We need it. So stop overthinking this thing, man. Go get the guy. He's him. I'm your boy Gunny, y'all. That's the hangout for the night, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell. Again, we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Once we get there, one lucky subscriber is going to win. Of the first 2,000, will win that autographed Joe Namath jersey with its own freaking case as well to showcase it. Again, put that in your living rooms, your game rooms, your bedrooms, wherever you want it, man. It's yours to do whatever you want to. And so again, tell your friends. I appreciate you all, man, for hanging out. And Don, I like this one right here. Did Aaron Glenn have the longest arms? Great question. I want to say he did not. The guy was just he himself wasn't like the biggest edge either. Like he was more of a compact edge. One of the best to ever play the game. That's the hangout, y'all. I'm over here coughing. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you at a loss? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother